to 400 victims drowned after the boat capsized near the Egyptian coast as they attempted to sail to Europe. Most of the migrants aboard the boat were fleeing from Somalia, Ethiopia and Eritrea, hoping to reach Italy. Somali media reports say that rescue workers have only managed to save 29 passengers from the waters. The Italian Foreign Minister said the tragedy came on the one-year anniversary of the deaths of hundreds of migrants of Libya in April 2015. Gentiloni also added that these recent events are a reminder of the refugee crisis currently plaguing Europe and called for a stronger commitment to addressing the migration crisis.
We are looking for more details and information, but what is sure is that we are again with a tragedy in the Mediterranean, exactly 1 year after the tragedy we had not in the Egyptian but in the Libyan waters 1 year ago. And this is another strong reason for Europe to commit itself not in building walls but in strengthening our common commitment towards migration, especially towards Africa. And this is also the reason why Italy is proposing a sort of migration compact that we will discuss today and in further occasions.
Let's get more information on this tragedy from our correspondent Adel Marhoui, who is in Cairo. Adel, have Egyptian authorities commented on the incident yet?
Officially, the Egyptian authorities have not given any official statement as in terms of numbers or anything in this particular incident. But throughout the beginning of April up until now, Egyptian authorities have confirmed at least arresting at least 100 persons who try to travel or to migrate to Italy illegally through similar ill-fated boats. And also at the same time, there were at least about a dozen who were found dead, and their bodies were then collected from the north coast of the Egyptian side in the Mediterranean. So basically, there is a wave that is seeming to be starting once again. Generally, as you said, Paolo Gentiloni said that this marks the anniversary of the last year's Libyan catastrophe, and in general in this part of the world, it's known that the wave of people who try to illegally travel, particularly to South Europe, Italy specifically, it starts from April and moves all along up until October. This is the high season because the weather is quite warm. There is less impact or less threat of getting killed by hypothermia in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Of course, it is an ongoing all year long process, but we're talking about the beginning of the high season, and we're expecting, at least observers here are expecting to see thousands, not just hundreds, in the coming weeks.
But usually, Adel, migrants leave from the shores of Libya, taking advantage of the chaos there. Is there any explanation how the migrants arrived in Egypt without being picked up at all by authorities?
Well, Egypt has always been a source of the same concept. Of course, there is a big difference in the numbers for those who try to leave Libya and illegally enter Italy and those who leave from Egypt. But Egypt is known to be one of the main sources for illegal trafficking to South Europe in general. Cyprus and Greece, Italy are the three main countries who quite suffer from this trafficking process in Egypt. Egypt specifically not just witnesses the movement of Egyptians, but also many Africans, because Cairo is a hub for African refugees who want to travel from Cairo to Europe, to the United States and other places, mainly because the UN regional office is based here in Cairo, and that's why Egypt receives thousands every year of African migrants who come here. Some of them manage to find work in Egypt, some of them illegally work in Egypt, and some of them insist on leaving even if their papers does not get processed in the appropriate time phase, and that's why it is common to see that happening every year in Egypt. It may be getting bigger because of the pressure that is happening in the region. We have a conflict in Sudan and South Sudan. We have the Libyan crisis, so that also put pressure as some of the people inside Libya try to get in through the Egyptian borders and then leave later on on one of these boats.
All right, Adel Mahri in Cairo. Many thanks, Adel.